It's Wick and Helen from Camino Provisions.
We're in Roncesvalles, Spain. We've walked over the Pyrenees mountains from France, and we're going to give a recap of the last 2 days, so stay tuned. Here we are in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port.
Getting ready to walk the Camino.
We'll start walking tomorrow.
When you arrive in Santiago, you will go to the pilgrim office. Present your pilgrim passport and they will stamp it. And this.
We were thinking it might be helpful to give you a recap of our walk over the Pyrenees the past couple days. One of the questions that we get sometimes is, well, why do people walk over the Pyrenees? Why don't they start in Roncesvalles or even Pamplona? And those are traditional starting points on the Camino Francés, as well as Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port and even further into France near Paris and onward. The answer to that question is, for us, this was our fourth trip over the Pyrenees, and it's just a very unique and beautiful part of the journey. And for us, it's just been something that we look forward to each time.
On this trip for us, we realized we needed to find a way to break up the day, which some people walk from Saint-Jean all the way to Roncesvalles in one day. It's very strenuous, and we have done that 2 times. And we have also made the trip where we walked up to Orisson, which it is not very far, but it is a very steep climb out of Saint-Jean.
Yes.
We have stayed at the Refugio there, which has beds. It's like an albergue, but it was full this time, so we couldn't break it up that way. So we found out and made arrangements to break up the trip by arranging for a taxi to meet us about 8 miles up at the Statue of Mary, which is a beautiful vista and a sacred place to many people. And so the taxi picked us up there at a prearranged time and took us back to Saint-Jean to spend the night. And then in the morning, the taxi picked us up and we went back to that point to finish the walk into Roncesvalles. So we want you to know that there are arrangements you can make to walk parts of this section. If it's important to you to have an experience of the Pyrenees and the amazing beauty that is there, don't give up that dream, because you can make arrangements for that. We go. Yay. We made it to Orisson. This is where we stopped for some refreshment. Yay! Okay.
Hey, we made it to Orisson.
Yay!
Yay! It is challenging, about a 3,000-foot ascent from Saint-Jean.
In about 5 miles.
In about 5 miles, so it feels like a lot longer walk than 5 miles.
Yes.
But we made it, and it was a gorgeous morning.
It's a gorgeous day here. We'll show you outside.
Yes.
We'll show pictures instead of us looking like this. We'll show pictures of the scenery as we're describing it, but it was a very steep ascent. For most of the time we were on asphalt paved road, and then we went off onto rocky terrain for a while, but some of the most gorgeous scenery, landscape scenery of farms and valleys and lush green mountains on our way up to Orisson. Orisson is a refugio. It's run by a French family, and if you come here, the food is delicious. It's a great stop on your way. If you're continuing on, it's a great stop for food, so you don't have to carry food in your pack out of Saint-Jean. And we can recommend the vegetable soup. Highly
Just
recommend
fabulous.
the vegetable soup. And yeah, so it's an exciting day for us to be walking the Pyrenees. This is our 4th trip over the Pyrenees, and we're so excited. We wanted to mention something that we hear over and over again. In the 15 years since we've been involved with the Camino, and experienced this ourselves in 2007, I ended up having to stop my Camino before I got to Santiago because of an overuse injury in my foot from trying to do more than I was able to do. And so we want to mention that you can go at your pace and do what you can do. And if you have a schedule to keep, there are ways for you to catch up to whatever that schedule is.
Yes.
Not everyone has the luxury that we do this time of blocking out 2 months for a slow Camino. And so we just want you to know, don't push yourself physically to the point that you have an overuse injury early on and have to give up and not finish what you set out to do.
Yes.
Rather, take your time at places like this first section over the Pyrenees, which is so physically tough. Take your time there, and if you have to have a recovery day after that, or have to catch a bus to a point farther down the way to maintain your schedule, that would be preferable than having
Yes.
to give up the entire dream you have of walking the Camino.
I'm trying to smile.
So windy today.
yesterday as we were walking what for us was the second half of our Pyrenees crossing from the statue of the Virgin Mary into Roncesvalles. We had the extra challenge of what was a gusting wind at times to about 50 miles an hour, where it would almost blow you off your feet. And
a headwind.
And it was a headwind, not a backwind, so that made it much harder.
Yeah, in fact, when we arrived in our room, Wick said, I had my hat on, my brimmed hat on. I don't understand how I got a sunburned forehead. Well, this is why. So windy today.
And so because of the past 2 days being physically challenging for the two of us, today we're taking what we just kind of call a semi-rest day. We're only going from Roncesvalles to Espinal, which is, I don't know, 4 miles or so, 4.5 miles. And so it keeps us moving, gets everything loosened up again, but gives us some rest also. And then the next couple days after that, we'll get going at a little more challenging pace, or longer pace.
Yeah. And I wanted to do an update for those of you who have sent in your prayers and your prayer requests and your praises for us to carry to Santiago, carrying your prayers to Santiago 2022 little project that we're doing as we walk, praying for all of you. We wanted you to know that we have been and will continue to pray.
Yes.
And we did spend quite a bit of time at the place, which is very sacred to a lot of people, there at the statue of the Virgin Mary holding the baby Jesus. And so we just want everyone to know that have asked for prayer, that we continue to pray for you. And until our next update, we just want to say,
Buen Camino.